Gonna have to find a video camera besides the iPhone because I've been getting texts and phone calls and it's been messing up the rhythm of things a little bit. So we cooked the apples. They're pretty much cooked all the way through. They're back there. And we let the dough sit in the refrigerator and it's nice and chilled. Let's try to roll it out now. So since the apples cooked a little bit more than I thought they would, I think it might be a good idea to take this dough. So I had a big ball of it. I took half of the ball. Take this dough and cook it a little bit before we actually bake the pie. So let's put some dough into the pie plate. Let's make a crust. That's what you call it. Now, if you leave this thing in the refrigerator for 2 days, this dough will be hard. But it's only been in there for about 2 hours. I should have left it in there longer. It'd be easier to work with. But I got in a hurry. Sam's nap is coming up. It's already 12:30. He's supposed to take a nap at noon. And I got to pick up the kids today at I gotta be there about 2:40. So is this gonna work out? Yeah, this will work out just fine. I'll have the pie cooked. It'll still be warm when they get home. Hopefully it'll taste good. I didn't put in anything that doesn't taste good, so I imagine it will taste good when you mix it all up. That's about right. A lot of people do fancy stuff with their pie crusts. I'm not a lot of people. I put it in there and pinch it up around the sides and call it good. Because that's the way I am. It's nice. I like it a little thicker than most people do. But that's me. If you don't, roll it thinner. Let me bring a piece and show you how thick it is. That's how thick I like it. Most people don't like it that thick. Not my problem. I've got a really old oven. It's probably 35 years old. So it's not really old, but it's old for a lot of things. And it's got all these temperatures on the side. It says beef and ham, 300, 325. Biscuits, 425 to 475. It says all that stuff on there. I wish the newer oven said that because I use that all the time. If I'm just sitting there making something and I think, I need to cook some fresh pork. I just go over there and look and it says, pork, fresh, 350. And there's one on the bottom that says 2 crust pie, 400, 425. And then there's the fourth one up says pie shell, 450. So I preheated it to 450. And I'm about to put this bottom part of the pie in there. I'm not going to pre-cook, pre-bake the top part. Mainly because of logistics on that. That looks nice. That's a good looking pie. So here's what we're gonna do. We're gonna put it in there for, I don't know, a few minutes. I'll just have to keep my eye on it. Once it starts to turn yellow goldy, I'll take it out and fill it up. So here we go. You know what I didn't do this time I should have done? I have a stoneware baking pan, and when I put that on the bottom rack, it really helps make the oven have an even distribution of heat. Didn't do it this time. I forgot. So, in about the time it's going to take for that bottom crust to cook, we can probably roll out the other crust. Looks like I soaked up all the flour we used the first time. And we got quite a bit, so...
Why are you putting flour on your table?
Putting flour on the table. Good question. Why are we doing this? So that the dough doesn't stick to the table. What do you think about that?
Nothing.
He thinks nothing about it.
I'm gonna cut it up as this.
Well, we're gonna make a big shell out of it to put on the top. I was looking over this video while I was splicing together the segments, and it looked like Sam was really close to that hot stove earlier. He wasn't right next to it. He wasn't able to reach it, just in case you're worried about how safe this production is. So maybe that'll make you feel better. The only injury we've had so far today is when he hit his head on the corner of that table. That means he grew. Seems like just yesterday his head didn't reach that. But now his head reaches that? Since when?
And this day.
My dough's crooked. Oh. You know what that's the sound of? What is that the sound of, Sam?
Oven.
Oven. Whatever's in it is probably done. That's good enough. So how are we gonna get this out?
Stick into your table.
Oh, it flopped up on us.
Can I have some of it?
No, it's not ready. This is just the bottom shell. There's the bottom shell. And it just started to get a little tiny bit golden. Now let's dump some what are we cooking? Apple glop in there. This is hot, Sam. So, apple glop. Apple glop. See, I'm using that slotted spatula. I don't want it real juicy. I want it chunky. So some of that juice is going to stay in the pot. I was watching some TV show a while back where they were making these huge apple pies. They were like a foot high, a foot tall. These little pie plates, regular old pie plates.
Were they like 1 foot tall?
They were like 1 foot tall. I guess they like big pumpkin or big apple pies. We made pumpkin pies yesterday. We got pumpkin pies on the brain. That's a process, man. That'll mess up your whole kitchen. We went to the pumpkin patch, picked our pumpkins, cooked our pumpkin meat, made our pumpkin pie filling. We had to make crust somewhere in there, but they're good. Oh, I made peach pie the other day too. And that's about my favorite. Peach pie, all I did was use
Peach.
all I did was make a regular old crust, and I filled it up with my peach filling, which was just,
Can I eat that part?
yeah, I guess, which was just peaches, sugar, butter, and flour, and that's it. Made a really good peach pie. Real crumbly in my tumbly. You like that dough, Sam? Okay, we got to do the stereotypical Hallmark. Don't burn your fingers on the pie plate when you're doing this. The stereotypical Hallmark slits in the top of the pie. And then we're going to cool it on a windowsill and hope that a bear doesn't steal it. Because we live in Jellystone Park. That looks pretty good, doesn't it? I'm not going to pick it up and show it to you because it's hot. It's not too hot. Yeah, it is. I won't do it. Okay, we'll clean off my knife. Remember, this is the one I was using for cutting my butter up a while ago. Now I'll just do some little cuts. Little cut. These really do have a purpose if you're new to pie making. They actually do help release the expanding water vapor that occurs as you cook a pie.
There's dough in here.
If you don't do it,
Why did he put
you'll
dough
have
in
a
here?
big tall pie.
Why did he put dough
That
in
looks good. We could draw a little smiley face. We could do lots of things. You can make your crust real pretty if you wanted to, if you're that type of person.
Dad,
I'm not.
Why did he
Not that
put
type of
dough
person.
in here?
Looks about right.
Dad, why did he put dough in here?
Next time I do it, I'll make sure I make my bottom crust a little higher because they're not exactly
Dad, why
big enough
did
in
he
all the
put
spots.
dough in here?
I'm not using that dough, Sam. I'm going to save that for our next episode.
I only eat one piece of it. I'm eating one.
Somewhere in between 400, 425 or so.
Dad, can I eat?
And we'll keep an eye on that.
Dad, can I eat a piece of it?
And I know it'll be cathartic for everyone when we actually see the finished product.
Dad, can I
We
eat
get to
a
look at
piece
the
of
pie. Sam gets to eat a piece of it. You can eat some of that dough, just a little piece if you want, Sam. I know it'll be a relief, so hopefully it'll look pretty. Well, I think it's cooked. We ought to go check it now. Take off my cooking gear because the cooking's over. I put Sam down for a nap. I think it cooked for about 15, 25 minutes, somewhere in there. Give me some pot holders. And it's a big mess. Those two crusts came apart because I neglected to make that bottom crust tall enough so it'd meet up and merge, fuse.